we on? Good. Welcome to the Better Than Not podcast. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But when we at least do something, we know it's almost always better than not.
Hi there, and welcome to Better Than Not, the podcast that aims to capture shifting perspectives and thought-provoking ideas in conversation while asking the question, is anything what it seems? Based on my series of Changing Frame of Reference, which you can read in the Substack app, and I hope you will, as it might give you some insight into what the podcast is all about. I also hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel, Better Than Not, so I can continue to bring you great guests like we have today. I'm your host, Doug Gardam, and today it's a pleasure to welcome back Robin Sather. Robin, how are you?
I'm very good.
I caught you.
It's awesome to be back.
So Robin was here back in episode 99. I remember that because that's the Gretzky number, as you know. But he's come back again with a bunch of stuff. I'm so anxious to get this conversation going. Robin is over 20 years in the Lego world. He's not only a certified Lego professional, but he's the first one. You have a code for that, right?
LCP 001.
Which is really cool to me. He's now, when he was here the last time, there were 24 in the world. Today, there's 26. So you can see this is a fairly unique role. Robin started his, world in IT. That's kind of what got him started. He's a kind of in a way like me, a little bit nerdy, kind of likes
a lot nerdy.
Likes all that kind of technical stuff. But there's all kinds of stuff happening in the Lego world that I really wanted to bring him back, especially at this time of the year, because it's Christmas time.
It's Christmas.
So
Lego
welcome
Christmas.
again.
Thanks, Doug. It's good to be back.
Oh my goodness, man. It's where. So I'm going to start where I started today when you came in the house, because following our last, there's so many things to talk about, but following our last conversation, I was really excited about botanicals. I'd never heard of them.
Yes.
Like, that's the part that was surprising to me. So I go out, and it's our anniversary, my wife and my anniversary coming up, and I'm going to do, she likes orchids. Yeah. I'm going to do something kind of neat. So I went out, bought the set. I'm going, oh, this is so cool. I might have even texted you or emailed you that I did buy that. I don't know whether
I don't remember, but it's possible.
So anyway, I'm looking at it, and I'm going, I noticed at the time, there's no logo on it. And I'm kind of going like, okay, so they're doing this like a secret.
Nice box.
It's beautiful.
Professional looking box.
Absolutely.
Beautiful photography.
It's just, and it Lego'd-ish,
yes.
Right? So anyway, I'm proud of this. And today, before we start, you walk in and I'm going, I'm super proud of this. I'm going, look what I got. And Robin looks at it and goes, that's a knockoff. Yeah, and I'm going like, I don't think I turned red, but I'm going like, here I am, Lego professional.
I saw your embarrassment, but...
And I'm going, I bought a knockoff? Now, what's really odd is that I kind of got an inkling of this the other day, because I was in like the big box store.
Yeah.
And kind of very similar, but it had a big red Lego brand on it.
Yeah.
So then you said, oh yeah, we know lots about this.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
I mean, even since we were last talking,
yes,
it's ramped up more. So the knockoff brands, the compatible brands are upping their game big time. And, you know, you were not at a obscure little side store. This is a major Canadian retailer.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and they're carrying these non-Lego brands right beside the Lego brand. So I'm sure the merchandisers are going, guys, you know, don't do this. But I mean, it's their store. They can do what they want. So
I was totally, because most of the time I'm kind of wary of that kind of stuff, right? And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure this is Lego. And I just thought, okay, this is a very unique way of branding, but it didn't really make sense because, wow, the brand does sell us. Now, the other thing is, I was watching Prime.
Yeah.
And one of the commercials comes up. And so our grandson's very much into cars and trucks, loves them. So we're always looking, it's Christmas time, right? This Lego looking vehicle.
A Corvette or something, or a truck. Or
Mattel Hot Wheels.
Yeah. Yeah. They've got a compatible thing as well. Yeah, their own brick thing.
So
Yeah.
what I don't understand, Robin, is like, why have you waited so long if you're going to do this? Because you're saying it's not even necessarily a patent thing.
Well, I think some of the old bricks the patents are long expired, a quarter of a century ago. But I mean, the new botanicals, those are almost all new elements within the past decade for sure. And they're definitely patented. And so these guys are just making copies of those parts. The problem is that we got a major retailer carrying them. You can get them online from any number of sources. They've been around long enough that people are trying them. I've tried them. I've been buying some of them, and the quality has been creeping up. So, 5-6 years ago, terrible quality. Build a big airship or something. It would barely hold together. Like you couldn't pick it up by one and it would just shatter. Yeah. That is not the case anymore. So the quality is ramped up. The experience of building is great. Some of the ones I've seen. I didn't look in yours yet. But at the price is probably a third to a half.
Yeah, no, it's...
And Lego, and these are becoming more and more trusted, right? You saw it at a major retailer, but somebody might take a chance on a small set and buy it online.
Well, I'm aware now.
Yeah.
But I wasn't even aware before.
No. And it looks just like a Lego set.
Except it doesn't have
for the logo. Yeah. And it's we had a peek, remember? Yeah. And we looked at it and looked at the Lego set that it's copying, and it's not identical.
No.
It's close. No. It's close enough for anyone to fool anyone. Even me, I was wondering, it's very close to the set, but is that the set? But it wasn't. So it's slightly different. So again, they're trying to avoid the Lego hammer, but Lego's spending millions and millions of dollars to try and squelch these mostly Chinese manufacturers. But it's, you're trying to fix a leak with a hammer. They just pop up somewhere else. No, but the thing is, it used to be an annoyance. But now the quality and the presentation and the build experience, these are fun sets, I have to say. They're great sets because they do stuff that Lego doesn't do.
Well, what I think is really important here too, Robin, which kind of disappointed me when you told me this, was I felt I had a Lego product.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that really kind of turns me, right? Like, yes, I'm a bit embarrassed that I'm showing you, professional, that, I got a knockoff. But it also makes me kind of feel like I didn't get the real thing.
Yeah. Now I wonder, so now I'm really curious, when you build it, what your experience is, if it's, you notice shoddy instructions or whatever, or do you have a good time with it? Do you and your wife build it together and have a great thing and set it up somewhere?
Well, that's the plan for Christmas.
I'm guessing it is, right? So, and if that's a good experience, where's the harm in a sense, other than feeling you got a little bit hoodwinked?
Well, that's exactly.
But will the build experience and the display experience and the whole experience trump that? Will it kind of squelch that? If it does, these are things that the Lego company, in my opinion, as an observer, needs to take note of, because it's a shift. There is a shift happening in the industry.
Well, I was going to say, when we open the instructions, because I've got lots of Lego sets that I've built with the kids, and their instructions are works of art. Yeah, Legos are. Right?
Yes,
like that. You almost want to keep them, right? Because you're going like, you can't use them again, but they're beautiful.
Lego calls them the BIs, so the building instructions. So the BI people.
They're beautiful.
Fantastic. The artwork, the journey it takes you through. I have a great time building complex sets.
Oh yeah.
To see how they got you to the end.
I know.
Because I have to make my own instructions for the kits that I designed.
Well, we're going to get to that for sure. So
I mean, it's to see, especially things like Technic sets. The complicated mechanical sets with working transmissions and all this kind of mechanical stuff. Crazy. How they design it, first of all, make it work, but then how you make an instruction set that a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old or even younger can follow through and build. Yeah. It's mind-blowing to me. It's a whole other brain.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to put probably 10, 15, 20, it might be even longer than that, when we started to first get like the Star Wars ones that came out, and they were big sets. Like the Blockade Runner.
Yes. Okay.
Like, that's a massive set, right? Yeah. They're probably collector's items today, right?
Oh,
because because they were like,
Pretty much everything Star Wars is a collector's item.
that was the first time that we'd kind of, since I had grown up with Lego,
Yeah.
that we'd done it. And so my son and I put it
Right.
together. It was so fun, right? Just a real father-son thing to do, as we talked about before.
Yeah.
And it's massive. Like, I kid you not, I think it was like 3 feet long or something like that. It's very solid.
It's something, Star Destroyer and things like that. They're definitely pushing a meter. Yeah.
And when you're going through, because I can remember being spread out on the ping pong table and the instructions, I'm just looking at these like works of art. Like they're just like
book. Yeah.
It's a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a book.
Bound
it's
book.
A book.
Yeah.
And you're kind of going like, well, what do you do with them when you're done?
Yeah.
Right. And so it's kind of it'll be interesting to compare this because I think that's a tough thing to capture. Like that's, I'm particularly because of our world changed, right? Like people say you read instructions.
Yeah.
I've never read instructions, but I built model kits as a kid, right? So like you had to do by and large the instructions. And I'm an instructions guy. And when they're wrong, Robin, it just like, did you not look at these before you put them in the box?
Yeah. And occasionally there is a mistake in a Lego one. I came across one the other day. But it's, I literally have probably seen 5, in the thousands of sets that I've seen.
Like, that's incredible.
It is, and there's a department. There's many, many eyes go on these things.
Oh,
but,
my goodness,
Lego always puts there's always usually a story or some background to the set. And so you'll get some lead up to it. If it's an F1 car set, they'll talk about the drivers and the team, and they'll compare the real car with the Lego version. And so there's great fun. The botanicals are like that. They'll have pictures of real flowers that they're copying. And
really?
I don't think the knockoffs are doing that.
I'm so interested now.
So I mean, doing a deep dive on the comparison, right down to even the bags that are used, because Lego is switching to paper sustainable bags, for example.
Oh, really?
So all of these things, but as a consumer on the shelf, with them not having them side by side, you just pick up the Lego set and off you go. Right. So,
well, I think the thing that changed it for me, and I'll say it was probably Apple.
Okay.
From a packaging perspective.
Yeah.
Like packaging was just, that's what we ship it to you.
It's how we get the thing.
And I can remember getting one of the very first Apple. I think it was probably like the iPods.
Right.
And like how the boxes like were set up so the air escaped just at the right amount so they closed. And again, it's packaging though, right? Like it's like, what am I going to do with it now? So how many houses have those like foam boxes?
I do have a box of boxes. Yes.
How do I throw this out?
Yeah, I know. It just seems wrong somehow.
And you see, like, even their accessories that are Apple accessories, they're just, so now we go to Lego.
Yeah.
Same deal. Like the packaging is just, and I'm kind of looking at the box and I'm going like, even the box on this is kind of, like it's got the fancy picture, but it's got like a tongue at the top, like the normal package.
Yes.
It's not a Lego kind of package.
No. Yeah. It's slightly janky. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, Lego has, they have departments to deal with how the flaps work. They've got people looking at all these little subtleties.
All I can say is, as a little Lego builder has been around for a long time, it's worth protecting because that does. Like, here's the situation. If I didn't talk to you, I've already told a number of people that I've bought that set. They think it's a Lego, and I've told them that it's Lego, and yet I got a knockoff. Like that still bothers me.
Yep, and I get it. It's legitimate concern, and you're not alone.
So good
experience.
So good you told me, because I think for many people. In our world today, that does make a difference, right? It just like there's something about that.
Yeah.
Whether you make some of this up in your own brain, like what the product stands for, what the brand, like it's branding, right? And you grew up with Lego, like it's like I'm giving this to like I can't wait now for our grandson, right? Because he's all into these. Like when you said the Formula One, like there's a Ferrari one that's and that's like I can't wait till he wants to do stuff like this because that's like. It will be so fun. Right? Like that's third generation.
You don't have to wait. You can start. I give you permission to grab a Ferrari set and build it. It's okay.
I was going to say, like, well, this is for his 10th birthday, but I'm going to build it now.
Of course, yeah. Well, there'll be another one of it at that point.
Oh my!
Because the new cars are coming out in Formula One. So I mean, the season just ended, and yeah, so we got a whole new thing coming out next year.
Like it's a whole part of Lego now, right?
Yeah,
Like the Formula One world.
Yeah,
like,
I mean they've had a great relationship. I mean, they had real Formula One cars on the track this season. You know, with the teams driving them around in the driver parade. So they've had a couple races ago. They had a giant life-size pink Cadillac, you know, in Vegas. You know, they're going all in, and there's new stuff coming. So,
well, it's so kind of mean. How many of, I'll say, designers, period, but how many designers in Formula One probably worked on Lego?
I mean, 100%, right?
Like it's a side, like, if you think that way, like, and it's kind of toy thing. That's what they say, like, be an engineer, be a rock star.
Right.
And it's kind of like, we all started, at one time it was Meccano.
Yeah.
But Meccano wasn't particularly cool like Lego was. And then Lego went into theme sets and then changed the whole.
Well, it pulls, you know, Meccano is great. I had Meccano as a kid too, alongside my Lego. But, you know, Meccano is great for mechanisms and getting things. It's very, very techy and whatnot. But it lacks heart. It lacks story.
Yeah.
Right. So Lego, through the story, and then you mentioned Star Wars. So now you've got story in there and still functionality. So that's the beauty of the Lego idea.
So now you mentioned story. So we'll get back into some of the things we talked about, because my wife's a counselor, and you had talked about some of the things that in the last discussion that Lego is kind of venturing into. So there's this whole play or sandbox where you can put your stories together.
Yeah.
And when you kind of, I can't remember whether you ran out of time on this one or not, but you kind of talked about some of the things that Lego was doing going down that route. Like, is there more? Well, obviously there's more happening in that side, but I was kind of blown away, like that they're going.
I mean, they have a whole foundation, you know, the Lego Education Foundation, and they do a lot of this stuff within there. But they're trying to bring storytelling and story making to kids in new ways. You know, I think last year it was over 12 million kids were directly impacted by stuff that is coming out of the company. Right? And so that could be,
wow.
Yeah. So it's a huge part of what they're trying to do. Yeah. And they always put out their annual reports each year, and they talk about all this sort of stuff. And yeah, that's a big push. It's a big push for them.
Well, the reason why it made such a difference to me, because I can remember being a little kid and playing like in like mom's garden with friends.
Yeah.
And we would build a Lego house. This is long before theme Lego, right?
Yeah.
And we'd have our little Hot Wheel cars and
100%.
thinking cars or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was actually the time when I started to kind of go through, well, you build the house, you build your garage, now you want a bigger house.
Yeah.
Now you want a bigger garage.
Yeah.
And like how construction kind of took over your world, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of, as we grow to adults, that's what our brains think about too, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, in what you said, Lego's taking that up another step further, right? Like, and I think that's very powerful in our world today of, I'll call it community, trying to figure out what we are, who we are, and that whole story.
Those sandboxes exist. They're just different now.
Right.
You know, I mean, I did the same thing. Sandboxes and, you know, Hot Wheels cars, and then you have to build a business or downtown.
Absolutely, that's it. And you did.
You had to have a lake, so you're trying to make ponds and pour water in and just pour into the sand. But, you know, so you're trying to, I did all kinds of stuff like that. I love driving the cars around my truck.
Yeah.
Rutted two little ruts, you know, anyway, so we could go on and on, but I did that with friends. It was a great way to interact. And so all that stuff, Lego's just updating that.
So now you go
40,
online.
50 years hence, and it's all online.
And you see people doing these like sets in their basements.
Yeah.
Like where they build cities. Now, some of this came out of the Lego movie too, but
it was happening long before that.
I'll bet it
was. But that just validated it essentially, and it ramped up. Obviously, that was 2014. But yeah, I know dozens of people that have, maybe 1,000 square meters of Lego city magic in their basement. Yeah. And very long-suffering, patient spouses and kids.
Oh man,
coolest dad ever, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
of an age. But yeah, the spouses
That's a whole
hats off to the spouses.
That's a whole other level, right? Like as far as putting that all together, because it's
But
like it's one of those things that it just stays with you, right? And it's so. Question: do they still sell kits that are just pieces?
Yeah, you don't see them as much.
No,
because the retail is retail is clamoring for IP and theme sets, right?
Right.
But there's Lego Classic, just like the yellow box, very basic, basic pieces, and they'll just be pictures, just like the old sets 50 years ago, with things built on them, but not any crazy instructions or something like that. Lego Classic is what that is, and then Lego Creator, which is a kind of a one step up from that, which has usually 3 models with instructions.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, fairly basic pieces, very colorful and very, very fun. They're almost my favorite. I think maybe my favorite line. But you will never see in a classic set or in a creator set, there's rules right now. Right. You will never see a new element in there. Or a new color.
Piece. But
in Star Wars or in Ninjago or Harry Potter or Botanicals, you regularly have a brand new element that's made just for that set or that line, which now you might see in other ones.
Right.
But it becomes the justification for a brand new element. But in Creator and Classic, it's using what's already there.
So like in Creator or Classic, like how many pieces would be in a set of that?
It varies.
They vary, do they?
Yeah. So you get 1,500. You might get 1,000. Might get 400.
So now I got to look for this because I didn't know that.
Yellow boxes.
Yellow boxes.
The yellow boxes.
Yeah. Are they meant for younger kids?
Not necessarily, but they tend to be younger. They tend younger because they're relatively simpler builds. Relatively.
So when you say that, I think back, and I think I talked about the one part in the Lego movie, the wheel with the spokes on it. I think it's a red piece, it's about this big, and it had little spokes that stuck like a gear.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first ones that I kind of remember as being different.
An unusual one, yeah.
But I remember this picture of this, and it was a kid standing beside a Lego structure of the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
That still sticks in my head. Wow, could you get a set that was like that? And of course, somebody was, it's kind of what you do today is making those structures and I'll say sculptures yourself, right? You've got access to all these pieces, but I can remember, and there was no theme Lego then, but it was just like you saw this picture and it was like, wow, that's very cool. Like how you could do that.
I mean, they have those things. It may not be as tall as a kid. It depends how old the kid is, I suppose. But, the Eiffel Tower set is tall. It'd be as tall as this 5-6-year-old,
Really?
And that's a set you can get in the box.
Now it's there, right?
And they're, Empire State Building and other ones, you can get them. They're just not as big. But, these days you can acquire the parts and just build. If you did a search for Lego Empire State Building, you'd find 100 people that have built their version of it.
Yes.
And there's many more than that.
Yeah.
So, it's all possible now in the aftermarket where you can acquire bricks in any quantity, really, as long as you've got the money.
Really?
Then you can build your favorite thing in a scale that you want to build it. And it happens all the time now. It's a whole different thing from when the hobby began because there was no aftermarket. It was just you and the 12 people that you knew that were into Lego. And so you're trading stuff.
Yeah.
Shopping sales and buying, 10 of a set. This is going back, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, no.
But now you don't have to do that anymore. So Lego will sell you bulk brick directly as a consumer.
That's a very cool thing.
So I mean, you can buy 20,000 tan 2x4s to build your Empire State Building, and make it,
the only limit
2 meters
is how
tall.
much is in your bank account.
That's correct. That's it. That is the only limit.
That's cool. So lots about Lego. Let's go to Robin's world of Lego and what kind of things you got. A bunch of stuff about. So when you were last here, you had just been on Global talking about Artemis, I think.
Yeah.
To display that science.
Still at Science World here in Vancouver.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also in the background was a big commission that was being worked on. Almost all the building was being done by Paul Hetherington, my one-time partner back in Brickville, early years. He's now on his own as a Lego artist, and we still play and do some stuff together. So I helped design it and did a tiny bit of building, but he basically built this 3 meter long version of the new Coast Guard icebreaker that's being commissioned at C-SPAN and going to be built. So it's a cutaway. So it's 3 meters long, and so half on one side you see the ship, the external of the ship, and you have a helicopter on the helipad, and you see all the ice, and you see under the ice and wildlife and science going on. And then on the other side, it's cut right down the keel. So then you see the internals, all the cabins and all the engine rooms and the moon pool for the divers and all that on the inside. And it's all lit up and everything. It's fantastic. So that was taking some energy. And then
is that on display?
It is. You can find it online.
Okay.
You look for Lego Polar Icebreaker. You'll find images of it. But that's a C-SPAN commission piece. So that took some energy. And then it's just big builds as well. I do a lot of the big builds on site. So
right.
We're in early December here. I just finished a build on Vancouver Island of a life-size Santa sleigh that we had Santa come to and kids take pictures with and everything.
He sits on it?
Yeah. On it. Yep. It's still there. So,
like in Elf?
Correct. Yeah. No, it was about 10,600 Duplo bricks, the bigger bricks. And there's 3 days to build. And it's there now. So that's the kind of thing.
How big is this?
Well, it's runners are, runner to end is probably 3.5 meters.
Oh, yeah. This is big.
Yeah, I mean, it's a picture a classic Santa sleigh where he sits in the front, and then he has this area behind him with a sack, and I've got a sack there with some gifts popping out in the back of the sleigh. So, and it was full size. It's life size.
So did you design it while you were building it, or did you have to design it prior to that?
I winged it.
Oh, you did.
I wung it. I'm not sure how you say that in the past tense.
No, that works.
Absolutely. I had some idea of what I wanted to look like, and I have a spreadsheet with some just simple formulas that help me calculate how much brick I'll need, very roughly, and I just put the colors in and figure it out, and I make sure I brought that, and I just went for it. And I had a couple of the local club guys there, the Lego Club adult builders, helping once in a while, not the whole time, but sometimes. So I knew that it was going to be mirrored. Often I have a build where it's pretty much the same on two sides.
Okay.
So I can build and the other builder can copy on the other side.
Okay.
So that reduces the amount of build that is build time. And so, and then we did that. And so I had curves and certain shapes, and I would build just a little, say the front of this nice roundy bit coming out and a little bit of a curlicue. So I built that, and then we just built and filled it in. So all of these tricks I've learned over 20 years of building.
Did you record it?
Did not do a time lapse this time. We should have. We 100% should have, because it was in the lobby of the Parkside Hotel, which is this very cool lobby. But we could have done it there. Often I'm doing something in a shopping mall or something, and it's less secure and people bump it and things like that. But we could have done it here. I wish we had it, but we didn't. Next year. I'm not sure what I'll build next year. I would do something else. Christmas Eve.
So what's 10,000 Lego blocks look like? How do you, when it ships to you, does it come in 10 boxes? Yeah,
so 10,600-ish. I mean, that's probably, if you think of the classic, the way we measure this stuff that people understand is the Rubbermaid tubs, right? Everyone knows the classic 61-liter Rubbermaid tubs. It's probably, those bricks would fit in about, I'm going to say, 18 of those. Something like that.
18?
Yeah.
You can that's more than you can put in a van, probably.
So I have a pickup truck with a canopy, and it's a king cab. So I fill that thing right up. So it's right to the gills and the back of the cab to get the brick. And I had more than I needed, so I always bring more. But I had brought that right full and probably used 2/3 of what I brought. So, yeah.
So that comes to your house or to your
in this
facility,
case,
or just ship it direct?
In this case, I had all the brick because it's temporary, right? So it's only going to be up till the end of the season.
Oh, so this isn't glued?
No. Most of my big builds on site are not glued.
Okay, because you're going to take them.
I'm going to take it down, and it's going to become something else. In fact, a lot of red bricks in the sleigh. You can imagine them some yellow to be gold. I'm doing a build downtown Vancouver for the Lunar New Year of the Horse. So I'll be at Holt Renfrew, for example, building a Lunar New Year sculpture, Year of the Horse, and using a lot of red and yellow. So it'll be the same bricks, the same actual bricks I'll be using to build that. And that'll stay up for a time, and then it'll come down, and then the next build will be something else.
So now, do you design that? Or do you do that?
Because
you gotta have you gotta be artists to build
I don't
a horse.
over design. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I will have to have some design, but I don't meticulously go down brick for brick. It's too long,
Yes,
and inevitably you get on site, and it changes.
Absolutely,
so then your design's useless. So, but the exercise of going through a design is valuable. But I might spend a couple of hours at most.
And you already have a very strong spatial.
It's all here.
Right?
It's all
it's
here.
all you can see
Yeah.
how that all fits. So
Yeah,
how
it's
big
all
is
here.
this going to be?
I don't know yet. Haven't really come there yet. But I did last year. I did Year of the Snake in the same place, and it was kind of how do you build a Lego snake and have it in public? People could if you spindly and knock it over. This year is Year of the Horse, and again, it's not just a horse; it's a rearing horse.
I was just going to say,
so how are you going to build that? So I'm not 100% sure, but what I did last year with the snake is essentially build this sort of a classic Chinese column or a plinth, and I had the snake kind of popping out of it, in relief. And I might do a similar thing for the horse, and it's kind of a theme. And if we could keep doing it every year as we go through the calendar.
That's crazy.
So that's probably how it'll work. And also doing another thing I do is these make and takes. So in this event this year, so it's Year of the Horse. So I designed a little horse kit. So
is that like what you brought me today?
Yeah. So that was an example.
So like this.
Yeah. So this was the charity we were supporting is called Rainbow Kitchen. Fantastic charity in Victoria. But their colors are very green and teal and blues and things. So this little locomotive. And so for a donation, this is a donor gift, right?
Oh, that's
so in the case of the Holt Renfrew, they're a retailer, so they're just giving them away. So it's just you show up and you assemble, you make your kit, you take all the pieces, you pop them in a baggie, and you take it away. You make and you take. So it's a little horse that they can they go home and put their minifigures riding on it, and it's just a cute little rearing horse. Yeah. So, we'll give away thousands of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, over the period, and that's that's an additional thing.
So what do you think it's going to take you to build this?
It'll be. I'll plan for a 2 to 3 day build, and I'll plan for me being on my own in this case. So I knew I was going to have help in Victoria. So it's bigger.
Okay. So
this will be smaller in scope. Probably 4,000 to 5,000 bricks. Because I know the way I figure it out is I know roughly my pace. How many hours do I have to build? 16 hours, 20 hours, whatever it is, over the space of the days. And then I know I can do roughly X amount per hour. Oh, man. And then that becomes the size. So, and then I'll backtrack from there. So what can I do in that number of bricks?
Right.
But that's 21 years of experience. This is all just happening back here.
See, what's really cool about this to me on the building side of this is that, first of all, how many people have 21 years of Lego building experience?
Just not many. No. But yes.
So you have, like you said, you learned things, you gained things, and it'd be really interesting to even watch you work at this.
And that's why it's fun. That's why I do it in public. So people will actually watch. Like sit there and watch, or they'll check back and see progress and things like that.
So this reminds me of years ago. So I'm from Ontario. We go to the CNE, right?
Yeah.
And one year I took my daughter there and son, I think. I can't remember exactly. But they have these rock balancers.
Right.
And they'll have them on display. There's usually with like a sand display or something like that. And they spend like hours. And they make these stands of rocks balancing, and it defies gravity as far as looking at it.
Yeah.
But watching it, it's fascinating because you just like how they just
so subtle, feeling those points and stuff.
And who does that?
Yeah.
Like somebody working in the corporate office.
Yeah.
We're not stacking rocks, man.
No.
They would hate me saying stacking rocks, but you have a similar kind of craft. That's
these very, very niche, But yes, it's a thing.
Do you like, this is not something that, not another one. Like, that's not, like, you're excited about this.
Absolutely. And the thing is too, I do get bored.
Yes.
So I don't want to do the same one.
Okay.
So every time it's a new one, if I can possibly do it, I'll if there's somebody that wants me to build the same thing again, okay, but I'm probably going to change it a little bit at least. But yeah, I don't like repeating the same thing. That's why we were talking about next year for this event. I don't want to do another sleigh. If I do a sleigh, it'll be a completely different style of sleigh. Because I just don't want to, I'm just bored. I don't want to build the same thing for 3 days.
You know what I'm thinking of right now? Is Santa on the chimney with the stack of toys. You've probably done one already.
Yeah, I have. And so actually a giant mantle and hearth. I've done those before.
Oh, wow.
But again, I would do a different one.
Yeah.
And they want it as a photo backdrop, right? So you have to make sure it works for a photo. So maybe I'll do a chair, like a nice big easy chair that Santa can sit in.
Oh, yeah.
And put kids in his lap or families around it with a big hearth. So, these are all things that we'll pitch to them and see what they want to do.
No, that is really...
But it's great fun. I mean, why would I do anything else? I get to go and do these things.
The other one that's like this, and it takes me back to going to the Science Center in Toronto as a kid. Now, I'm pretty sure they've knocked it down now, which is kind of sad. But they didn't continue on, and then science has changed so much for you.
Yeah.
But they had this little booth because they would make the great big models of ships and planes. Yeah. And they had this little booth where the craftsmen worked to build them from instructions. And I used to, as a kid, saying, just that would be the perfect job.
Yeah. We may have talked about this when I was here before, but I've met some people that we've kind of compared perfect jobs. I met a guy in the beach in San Diego, the Catalina Hotel, and he was building sandcastles, and he had an imprint of his name and logo and website and tags and stuff. So he goes around building sandcastles for people at weddings and shopping malls and stuff. That's his job. So he brings his sand, right? Packs it all down like they do, and then makes a sandcastle, and then it stays on display there for a while. Crazy. Pretty good job. And then I met a guy on the island. He knows
so much about sand, too.
Oh, my goodness. Like,
there's 100 varieties.
Well, and that's why he literally brings his sand.
That's crazy.
Because it's, the watering they have to do. The tech is crazy. You don't just show up at a beach and build a sandcastle. It doesn't work that way.
Tech and art, right? Science and art.
Always. And then I met a guy on the island who says, I build castles for a living. I'm like, hang on, I need to know more about this. So he basically castleifies your property if you want it. So if you have a room or a building or something, he will make it castle. That's his gig. So he's a contractor, but he specializes in in sort of making things medieval and castle.
That's crazy.
Perfect job.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But that's that mix. Lego, we talked about packaging and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Lego, the most common background or educational background that Lego will hire from is industrial design.
Oh, for sure.
So, right. So that was Apple, right? Apple was every aspect of that thing, from the packaging to the coloring to the shape to the feel to the UI, all that stuff. And Lego is the same. So they want that full experience. So it's industrial design students and grads that they poach, they look for. That's the most common one. So that's what I encourage kids to do. So if you want to get education to work with Lego, number one, stay creative.
Right.
Don't stop being creative when you hit 18, 19, 20. Like many people, just all falls away.
That's really hard though. Like
it's super hard.
I've had so many guests on here. There's two frames. The ones that are supported by their parents, their world, to go and do that art. And often they come from the art world, so it's a little bit easier. Yeah. But then on the other side, and I just had a recent example, was crazy, who they weren't. What are you going to do? Like, that's what happens, right? When you're 18, it's like, what are you going to, or 16?
I got to go to school. I got to work. I got to make money
for a job, right? Yeah. Like you can't do Lego for a job. No. And it's like, well, can you? And that's what's so interesting to me today. You're starting to see so many, like, who castleifies a house?
Yeah. Like, all these little niche things that you can get into now.
And it's like, wow, that's kind of a neat thing. There's sandcastles, ice carving, like you see so many of these different things, and it's like, that is really cool. And the other part, like you just said, it's a cool job, right? Like you're itching to kind of do the next one.
Yeah,
so to speak,
it's all about the next one. Yeah.
And now, and what's interesting with Lego is they've actually taken that on as the company's world too, right?
Yeah.
Like with their theme stuff. Like I'm kind of blown away. I go back to that Ferrari, man. They've got a Bugatti too that a nephew of mine built. There's so many, right? It is a
It's phenomenal. I mean, they have the different scales, big ones and medium ones and small ones of all these cars, all these supercars, and of course the F1 side of it. So that whole world has expanded in the Lego universe just as much as the botanical has gone in a different direction. So, they've got you covered. Plus all the IP stuff, all the other Ninjago and Mario and everything is in there. So, yeah.
So in your travels, the last time you were here, you're talking about a guy that was an adult father.
Yeah.
And how he just got glued on a set while he was at a store or something with you.
Right.
Like, are you still seeing, is that like bigger than ever? Like as far as seeing people like just like
it's ramping up even more. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Like I would have said 10 years ago, yeah, we're kind of reaching a saturation point. No, that was just a pause. And then things like botanicals came out, and then this entirely new market, like all these middle-aged women basically came into the Lego scene, and some of them replacing their real flowers with Lego ones. And there's a whole new market. And then again, all these motorheads, all these car guys, buying Lego sets.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 10 years ago, the typical adult would have come back into the scene because of Star Wars. So
right. Yeah.
Star Wars was the big come back to this hobby.
Absolutely.
But now you got F1 is another huge one. Star Wars is still crazy strong, but the car side of things is huge. And then this botanicals. So they just keep like coming out with a completely new market. And then the artistic stuff. So now Lego's making these sets that are reproducing works of art. Picasso, Andy Warhol.
No way.
Oh, yeah. The Mona Lisa last year.
I knew you're going to bring something new.
I mean, they like Mona Lisa.
A painting?
Well, it's not a painting, but it's done in bricks.
It's like they fit it together, and out comes the Mona Lisa.
Yeah. So you can get a Mona Lisa. You can get like a Picasso stuff. The sunflowers. I can't remember if that's Picasso. But
yes.
Yeah.
No. Van Gogh.
That's Van Gogh. Yeah.
You can get that.
You can get that in Lego. So, and that's there's a wall. These are basically suitable for display in respectful areas. They're not toys.
No.
Kids aren't buying that. These are adults buying that. Like so it's a whole new thing that they're going into.
It's almost like they saw that online, that people took that, right? Like, because they do it with all kinds of different things, coins and things like that. And they pull these things together. Well, Lego's a perfect.
I mean, they've got hundreds of designers that are just needing projects to come out. That's how botanicals came around. It was one designer that made this beautiful thing. And then other designs. Finally, someone in marketing said, wait a minute. Marketing said, we could sell those. Clearly, they're all over the office. Let's start making a line. So these things serendipitously happen from various places, and then they come into the
this
mix.
Is what's making me kind of jump around in the head here, because we mentioned creative, right? Like you get to be 18 and got to go get a job, right? But the internet, AI, all this stuff is shifting this stuff in a big way.
Daily.
And we don't, like, what as humans we are really, really good at, almost everyone, I think, is creative. We're creative. We're all
in some fashion.
We're different. And this is what, like, somebody who recognized, oh, you're creative, and then somebody does something, well, you're not creative. Well, then go. It's a kind of an interesting thing, right? Because some people say, like, I could do that in crayons, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who don't recognize what true art is.
Yeah.
But you find someone that goes down that road. Like, for many, the last thing in the world they want to do is to build someone's house into a castle. Like, come on. Like, I don't want to do that. Or I'm not going to build a sand castle at the beach. But then you see it taken to another level, and suddenly you're kind of intrigued by it, right? You go to a Lego sculpture that Robin Sather has done, and you go, that's something real. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
So now you're saying Lego is kind of tapping into this, because there's so much in social media now, like so creative stuff. Like, it's crazy how it kind of works, and it's like, do you see that starting to kind of meld into a different thing that we in 20 years won't even recognize what we are today?
I have any concept of what where all of this will be in 20 years. I can hardly predict where it will be
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, or even next year, the year following. The AI aspect now, of course, is very iterative, like it's derivative.
Yeah.
Today, it's like that.
Today.
But
yes.
I don't believe it'll stay there. I think we will start to see at some point, we'll achieve some sort of, there'll be a tick into some sort of super intelligence, and we'll start to see brand new things, a whole new thing like that no one has done before. And, I have this debate with people all the time, and I think it's coming. And I don't think we're ready for it. I think, and that on the art world, I think it will just change everything, but also in all these other, these things that are derivative, we're seeing those jobs go away and that sort of stuff. And a lot of the coding I did back in the day, at least half of my job would be done. It is done now by AI.
Yeah.
So, maybe even more than that. And that's gradually going away. But is there something that's really, truly innovative and something that's truly new? Not so much. It's derivative. And most of what we consume is derivative, advertising and commercial art and decorating buildings and styles and things like that. A lot of work jobs have essentially derivative, slightly modified things, but brand new, innovative, radically different. We're not there yet, but I swear it's going to come.
Well,
so how does that change things, right?
So I'll give you an example for me. So we're both kind of from that era that when we go to the library for school and you go to the card, you find a book, you take a quote.
Yeah, remember books, kids? These things made of dead trees.
And we would pull that together to write an essay, whatever it was. And it would take hours to do, right? If you actually did it. There's lots of ways of kind of working around that. So then we get the internet. Now you can look up anything you want. You can find out information. Now you bring the internet with what AI is giving you to basically ask any question you want and to do stuff for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think today when I'm in doing my, I'll call it research for lack of a better term, trying to find out things when I'm writing something or putting something together, just interested in it.
Yeah.
I can instantly go to Grok, ChatGPT, there's all kinds of them, right? And surprisingly accurate. It's for kind of fact stuff.
We use it all the time. I mean, I did it 3 times this morning. I had a quick question,
absolutely
obscure question. And I just typed it in, and I don't even hardly do that anymore. If I had the Google glasses on, the Ray-Bans, I wouldn't have to type. I just have to say it.
It's quick.
It's coming up right there.
So now that curriculum, that school, that thing that we had to go to school to learn is becoming very, very accessible to us. And so what I'm starting to kind of feel is, to your point, is not having to take that time to find that stuff. And in some ways it was creative too, because you had to be creative and try to find it.
Absolutely.
You have that all now. That allows you to go to another space that it's hard to describe. The best I've heard described is Sir Roger Penrose.
Okay.
And he talks about the unconscious as an example, right? And this is where, to me, Lego fits so much into this, right? Because a lot of what's in our consciousness is what comes out in Lego kits, right?
Right.
And he said, there's a science. He's calling it science because he doesn't have another word for it. Isn't here yet. Look, we have nothing from he's one of the things I've heard, I've quoted this numerous times. You got a neurological surgeon, you got an anesthetologist, brainy guys, brainy people. What we know about the unconscious is how to turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah.
And you kind of go what? Come on.
Well, there's no question we're on the cusp of a shift. You think, let's go back in history, right? We hunter-gatherers, 110% of their energy were spent in getting enough food to live to the next day.
Absolutely.
There was very little art. There was very little leisure. There was very little anything.
We scraped it on a rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In passing, while your hank of roast was on the fire. But I mean, gradually through the years, right? We've hived off some of these things, industrial revolution, computers, and we have more time to investigate other things. So the nature of art changed, the nature of leisure changed, all that stuff changed. So now you don't even have to think and spend energy finding out what you need to know.
Right. It's there.
So now we're bored monkeys. We're going to figure out something to do with that energy. So there's a whole new thing, like you said, because we don't even know what it is yet.
Well,
what does that mean?
It's almost like the Industrial Revolution, like, kind of paused us, because we went to get jobs, right? And those jobs, and so many of those jobs, like many of the jobs I have is AI, right? Like, if you can get AI to do a report for you with all the research that would take weeks for an individual and be better.
Yeah.
Actually.
I mean, I was designing GUIs, graphical user interfaces.
Yes.
Positioning buttons and font one by one, right? After a template. Template was a big saver. Now, make it like that.
Yeah.
Done. Like,
and
what took me days would take seconds.
What's bizarre, it's just about as complicated as what you just said for it to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you just do this that I want.
Yeah.
And I sometimes now starting to wonder is that we've kind of gone through this place where we basically learned enough to get that job, and then we did the job. And that allowed us, this is where I keep thinking that it took away our creativity.
Yeah.
Because we went to get the job and it took all our time, right? Like, whether advanced to the computer, or before that we're doing the ledgers or whatever it was.
Yeah.
To your point about hunter-gatherer, we did it in the industrial world. And now we're terrified of it, right? Because it's going to replace our jobs. It's going to revamp everything. But I think we're on, to your point, on that cusp of what we're going to be able to do. That in many ways is enormously exciting. So then taking an individual like yourself who spent a lot of time honing this, what's the next 5 years going to be for what you do?
Yeah. I mean,
it's crazy to me.
We're still monkeys, right? We're still meat puppets. So tactile, we still walk around and our senses still are the way we experience the world. So to have sculpture, to have music, to have all those things, we will always have that, So how we get it and how it comes to us will change. But having sculpture and we went to a play last night, right? So having live theater with real people, not holograms,
real,
that is actually increasing in popularity because people, us monkeys, we crave
that's the word,
the real,
we do,
right?
We do.
And so that's not going to go away. So our energies freed up from the mundane, having to edit your book, having to fine tune a computer application, having to, master a song, right? Which again is an amazing art that you can now do with AI and replace, a $500,000 producer from 20 years ago. It's mind blowing. So, but our minds are still active and intelligent and crazy. And so we're still going to figure out something else to do with that energy. So it is exciting.
Yeah.
It's scary as well.
Both.
And societal implications are enormous. Like there's this, we already see it, this huge disparity in socioeconomic and wealth. But that all is going to have to shift. We're going to have to go more Star Trek, I think, as we move forward.
That was incredibly almost prophesizing.
Yeah.
I think unknown when Roddenberry even wrote it.
Yeah.
I don't think he had, I don't think it was possible for him but it came to him.
Yeah.
Because I hear that so often. So many, you think teleportation.
Right.
Yes, it's still, and I say, no, I don't think you can do that, partly because I don't think we can deal with the infinity of a cell.
Yeah.
I think we talk about it, and I think the unconscious fits into that category, right? But what could we do?
Yeah, and I think more. I mean, there's the tech, but then there's think of the social structure of those sci-fi universes, and especially Star Trek. Incredibly optimistic, and this is where I can be a little cynical because we already see this massive disparity in wealth. The middle class disappearing, and the top 4 big tech guys controlling 50% among them, 50% of the wealth in the U.S.
That's amazing.
Right? Amongst 4 people. 3, I think it might even be. That's insane. That's never happened before in the history of the world.
No.
Right? So, and you have these vast numbers of people in poverty situations. So something always happens when that is a situation. There's going to be either revolutions and wars, or there's going to be a voluntary distribution of wealth somehow. That has to come. One of those two things will happen. And I hope it's the latter, and that we do it in a peaceful way and society evolves in some way to match that. But again, from the artistic side, there's always going to be sculpture. There's always going to be music and original ideas. And, you look at AI art now, with 17 fingers and it's weird, right? That's all going to go away. I mean, it's
gameplays, right? Like it's fun to kind of not realizing the actual power you have, right? Yeah. It's like make a Van Gogh picture of a ship that has both, shall we say, Hopper and Colville parts to it, right? Yeah. You can do that. You can ask it.
And you'll get it in 20 seconds.
It's unbelievable, right? And you
can 4 versions of it.
And then our brains as humans seem to jump and say, see, creativity's all gone.
Right.
And it's going, how did you get there?
Yeah.
And then you start to kind of open up and say, wow, this is pretty powerful what we kind of get. So there's 2 things that kind of came to me as you're talking about, because Churchill in the war, I don't know whether it's legendary or not, but I've talked about this before. His finance guy for the war, he came to him and we're running out of money. And he said, we could sell the art that we have. And Churchill's reply was, I thought that's why we were fighting this war.
Yeah.
And I kind of go on, whether that's true or not, Robin, I just yes.
It makes sense that he was an artist, he was a painter, so it makes sense that he would.
But it's so accurate to me. Whether we like it or not, we have to do that.
Yeah.
The other thing that was around the socioeconomic part, and this came out of a thing I'd heard, that somebody went back to Rockefeller. So at one time he was the wealthiest man in the world, right? And he said, how much is enough? Yeah. And he said, just a little bit more.
Yes.
And I said, what's really interesting about that is no matter what status you are in the socioeconomic chain, it still holds.
Yeah. You still want a bit more. Yeah.
It's something inside us, right?
Yeah.
And I think that links into that creative part of it, is that there's something more that we want. And what's interesting is we haven't really talked about, in Lego's world, what it's meant from a business perspective, because it's been huge for them, right? From where they were.
Yeah.
But how fascinating what they're creating is. That's almost like, if you don't have that heart, you're chasing the wrong thing in a way of what you're trying to do. And I think that's kind of fascinating that we're like that as people.
Again, and that's where I have the hope, because we are not changing. So we're still the monkeys that see and feel and touch and taste. So there will always be that connection. And it could be that whatever AI becomes, it will actually go past and be in another area. But I still want to go watch somebody in a coffee house, drink coffee, not AI coffee, not electrodes in my head that give me the experience. Yeah, but I mean, and I want to hear it. I want to feel it. I want to smell the space, and I don't think we're anywhere close to the Matrix kind of an idea of it. It's all
I'm glad
plugged
to hear you say that. Yeah,
I don't think we are.
I've heard it. I hear that we. Yes, we are, and I kind of
I don't think so.
I don't think that it's a neat fantasy. We're very quick to draw conclusions, right? It's amazing how almost binary we are, 0 to 1. We're not there's a vast chasm, in between 0 and 1. It's infinite, and yet we're so quick to
There's a long way in there. I think there's going to be a big jump at some point when we do get that AI super intelligence, whether you call it a consciousness or an awareness, the singularity. I think that's going to come. Many people would argue it's not possible, but I don't subscribe to that. I think it is going to happen. And I think it will go off in a weird direction and hopefully independently and not, in control of things and whatnot. But we're still meat puppets. We're still monkeys. So we will gravitate to interaction, and we need social constructs and all that. So, there will always be art. There will always be play. There will always be sculpture. And so how that looks and how we get to it, how we design it, that may be be affected, but
Right.
I'm not worried about that aspect of it all.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think, we do always crave something new. As you say, we want a little bit more money, but we always want a new experience as well. So that's,
Absolutely.
we want the next song, we want the next build, we want the next Lego set, we want the next season of the show, all of that. So, and some of that is going to be satisfied by AI, but a lot of it won't. It needs to be in real space.
It's amazing, like as you hear technology kind of going, right? And you mentioned shows.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, maybe we're migrating away from the movie theater.
Yeah.
But we're not watching less shows.
No, consuming way more.
And you think there's still new shows coming out that make us, wow, that like there's a lot that aren't.
Yeah.
But there's like still interesting things that catch our eye that we would never have seen previously ever. Yeah. It's almost like there's so much available that give it up, man. You're never going to see it all.
Well, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing, I mean, we're getting interesting philosophical here, mm-hmm. but it's all at this point in our culture, it's almost all driven by economics.
Oh, no, that's a good point. No,
right? So if the structure of how our economy works changes, will there be a way to have that art? Will there be money to pay artists on any level? My work relies on the fact that a place wants me to do a build to bring in foot traffic and people. That's why they're paying me.
Absolutely.
So if that mechanism is gone, if that motivation is gone, now I need a patron, that's someone that just loves the art for its own sake. And I do get those. I do commissions and things like that, but it's a tiny percentage. And so a lot of my business would just evaporate, like in COVID, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I did a commission in COVID because people had time and they wanted to have comforts and things, but nothing public. So I was down to 5% of my typical business, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because there was whole economic side of things. So I think that's what I say. We're societal changes. We're going to have big shifts.
Oh, I think
they're coming, but we'll always want to have some sort of art, some sort of music. I can't everything.
I can't imagine. Like, I think there's just too many people that are fit into that category, and I actually think there will be more. That's why I come back to Lego.
Yeah,
because Lego does give you that sense that you created something.
Absolutely.
Because I often will comment, and I think this is era shifting, but it's like coming out of the war, going to everybody, your parents, go to school and get a good job. Like, mm-hmm. That was kind of the thing, right? Mm-hmm. And get away from the trades.
Yeah.
You're going to go to school, get a university degree or whatever, at least in my kind of experience. Mm-hmm. And what started to shift for me was the fact that there's a missing part of you. So hunter-gatherers, you were doing something, right? Yeah. The trades. And I think I might have mentioned this before to you, but as a plumber, you unplug somebody's drain. They're stuck. They can't get it fixed. You've not only done something with your hands to do that, but you've made somebody very happy. Like, it's just, there's an instant thing that
because we're still meat, right? We need plumbing. We have to have plumbing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And whether it's electrical, whatever it is, there's that there. The trades are there.
Yeah.
And you have that, the one who's delivering that service gets an instant gratification. When you go into that corporate thing, you might be weeks, if not months, to get even anything outside of, I completed another part of the program, but we've still got 15 parts to do, or whatever it is.
You're a little tiny piece of this massive
to create the thing to go. And so that personal part is just gone.
Yeah.
And we crave it. Like, we need that, right? Like, and you can say what you want. Look, a manager comes up, good job, Rob. It's not the same thing as look at this piece of Lego structure I just created, or whatever it might be. And to me, Lego exemplifies this in a very big way because it gives people a chance to do that away from their job, right? Yeah. Like, it's just like, this is killing me, but now I've got my own Bugatti, right? And I made it.
Yeah.
And it's like, And okay, maybe you could argue the whole creative thing isn't there, but you still had to put all the pieces together. You still had to read the beautiful booklet that the pieces all come together. Where else do you get that?
You don't, and that's the thing, and that's not going to change. I mean, there was, again, in years past, the worry from people was that, and Lego was moving this direction. It was to make almost replace the physical bricks with a digital experience and online.
Yeah.
And there was a concern by people like, well, it's just too easy now to do it all online. Yeah, it's not a concern. There will always be physical media, because that's how we interact. So there's a different kind of satisfaction that comes from doing the online things.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm a gamer, and I regularly escape into these vast worlds that are complex and rich and varying and changing and engaging. But it doesn't replace me being, I don't think I could live there. Like if it was literally 24/7.
Interesting.
Now, it may get to that point where they'll get so rich. And if there's AIs in there that are evolving and changing and whatnot, that's going to be an interesting thing to happen. But I still have to eat. I still have to sleep. I still have to do human meat puppet things. So, that's gonna be a thing.
That's kind of cool.
And I think we'll always have that physical stuff. And that's why Lego is making more bricks than ever. That said, they're doing the things like, I think last year, maybe in 2024, 53% of all of the purchases and all the materials that went into Lego bricks were from sustainable or renewable sources. So, they're shifting away in a dramatic fashion from just digging up dead dinosaurs and making plastic. So they're using everything from.
Oh, that's like
53%
of everything they made.
That was 2024. So now this year's report isn't out yet. I'm sure it's higher. So I mean, they're making little Lego tires. They always tote that they're the largest tire manufacturer in the world. But they're making them now from old motor oil and fishing nets, like fishing nets that are dredged up. They're using that material to make the tires.
Oh, that's really
the botanical stuff is coming from, say, a sugarcane plastic. Some of the clear pieces are coming from ground up acrylic, countertops and things like that. So again, 53%, and they have a goal within a few years to have that be close to 100. By 2050, they want to be completely neutral.
If you were to take that 53% and then put it into volume numbers, like that would be mind-blowing.
I mean, those numbers exist. I just don't have them on top of my head.
You think of all the Lego kits that were produced last year in 2024.
Yeah.
Like that number would blow our minds, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it would. I mean, there's old statistics out there about how many bricks, if you spread them all around some people. And I remember 20 years ago, it was 85 per every person on the planet. I'm sure it's 500 now. Like
for 7.5 billion people, everyone would have 85 bricks.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago. And now it's ramped up. The whole company and their production is expanded. It's been exponentially. So I'm sure it's in the many hundreds now, if not more. So, but that's a lot of Lego bricks.
But it's also like, you don't think of that, right? Like, if anyone gets a lot of press on that, is like phones. What do you do with old phones? Right? They get a lot because they're in front of us, right?
Yeah.
But then you take a look at like Lego, and 20 years ago, everyone in the world 85 bricks. That's a lot more than a couple of phones, even, right? Like that's a lot.
Yeah,
and that's 20 years ago.
It's a lot of plastic and a lot of material. Now, again, Lego is doing everything, and no one throws away Lego. Right, it gets handed down. It gets recycled into somebody else, into secondhand stores. It stays around. So you get bricks that have been 10, 20, 30, 50, 60 years old. They're still in circulation. But the Lego company itself does. They recycle every possible thing they can.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, even bricks. So the store models, they take them and they shred them up. And that plastic goes back into bricks. So, I mean, they do everything possible from
that's
the bricks.
That's a pretty cool
all of
thing to
that.
know about.
Lego Masters, they take all those big models. They're all shredded down, and that becomes raw material again. So,
So that's what I was going to actually, that was kind of where I was heading.
Okay.
Because I didn't introduce you, but as the New Zealand Lego Masters kind of creator, producer.
I wouldn't have those titles
Yes.
on me, but I was involved. I was sort of the Lego guy involved in almost all those aspects of production, from challenge creation to casting to set design. Now, of course, there's people in charge of those, but I had a seat at the table of all those things.
You went there and literally lived for 2 years?
A year.
A year,
A
right?
year. Did 2 seasons.
We
did
put that
2
program
seasons
together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we started talking about it because I was intrigued from it being a Canadian thing.
Yes.
Because we've talked about that. I don't know anyone that doesn't know Lego. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's one of
It's
those
ubiquitous.
things, right?
Yes.
And when you bring up like what we've gone through today about how creative it is and seeing people at what level they can actually create, right? And with Lego, like anyone can put a brick together. It's not like you have to figure out how to put the right amount of paint on a brush or all those kind of things. Like anyone can put a brick together. And we were talking about how that could happen in Canada.
Yeah.
You got anywhere on that? Like, have you been able to?
There hasn't been anything really developing there. There's some resetting going on inside the company as to how some of these things will happen.
Right.
There's been a few new things come out in other places in the world since we spoke.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it's nothing much is happening here. We are, it's like New Zealand as well. We are a small market. So from the Lego side of things, we are small potatoes. So we pretty much mirror what happens in the US, but we're 10% of their population.
No,
right? So
it doesn't change, right? Like,
no,
we just stay 1/10 all the time.
Yeah. So we essentially get the same thing, a little bit of customization, but it's really kind of the same thing. And a lot of the energy is being directed in other areas. And media changes so much. I know some of the people in the media department within Lego, and they get projects ready, and by the time they're ready, they're almost obsolete.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to stay on top of it. So if I'm not in touch with them for 2 months, everything's changed.
No, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening in that regard.
Are there still Lego Master programs going on somewhere in the world today?
Yeah, there is.
That are live on TV that you
Yes. Can... Yeah. There isn't anything happening currently in North America.
Okay.
They're rebroadcasting the Christmas one from previous years, but there's not a new one this year. But there was a kids one that came out. There was a kids Lego Master Junior came out. That was one of the new things that happened in the US. But other countries, Australia had another season. Some European shows
they did.
Had another season. But yeah, it's maybe shifting now. I think there'll be a shift in how that's happening. And I've been involved with some of the ideation about that, but how it actually pans out is a bit of a pause now in all of that.
Well, I just I would think one of the fascinating series, because this would fit into the reality show series, right? And I've talked about Alone a lot. Yeah, because I'm fascinated by a show that's like that who would be interested in it?
Yeah.
And yet it became quite popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the applicants for that show are just staggering. And to get down to 10. To do something that is really non-human. In a way, right? To be alone, we know is not good.
Yeah.
And seeing people go for as long as they can. And this is, to me, Lego kind of fits into that same category, because you have these people out there that are almost delusional about Lego building, and to be able to go on a show to show what you can do
under pressure.
It would. I think
limitations.
It would be mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be done. I don't know what.
Maybe it doesn't have to be Canada. Maybe it could be the U.S. I'm okay on both markets.
Yeah,
it's just it'd be neat to see being able to put. So I'm glad that it's still being thought about, because
there's definitely a stew pot being tended. Because it's on simmer right now.
I'll bet there'd be a lot of applicants.
Oh my goodness!
For that, it would take a year just to go through the applicants.
The community side of all of this, and the Lego enthusiast side of it is just, again, exponentially growing. You've got the hardcore AFOLs, adult fans of Lego. You got those.
An acronym for them.
Yeah, of course there is. But then there's this huge component of people who would say, I'm a Lego fan, but they buy just Star Wars sets and
Right,
build them and
right.
display them,
Yeah.
or botanicals and just display them. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones that all their whole experience is online. They don't actually hardly have any Lego, or they live in a small apartment, so everything's online and virtual. These are all different parts of the fandom community, and Lego pays a lot of attention to all of those groups. So how do you have one thing? Is it possible to have one thing that kind of touches on all those aspects? And not really. You have to kind of get more specific, more niche with how you do those things. And Lego is looking to do those things, and other outside producers are looking to do those things. But it's so hard to keep up. You know, the whole landscape changes so quickly that what you develop, which takes time, still takes time, even with AI, it takes time to develop, is almost passé by the time it comes out. Lego's got caught a couple times with things like that. Huge amount of investment in things, and by the time it comes out, it's already old school.
It's also got the corporate bigness.
Yeah,
that is a challenge, because like I think of trying to even start something like I'll use an old term like skunk works, right?
Yeah,
is to try to develop something that's unique, that really gets inside us. And that's kind of accidental too, right? Like you got to try a bunch of stuff to figure that out.
You'll have some misses probably. Yeah.
But I still think there's something to that from what we even talked about, because I think Lego provides that to many people, that thing that I actually created something.
I'm amazed at how Lego has done that, the company, because you're essentially just following instructions, building something. There's kind of zero creativity, but they've done a great job with their marketing and their presentation of making that into a creative
for sure
procedure.
Yeah.
And it is in a way, but it's that satisfaction of having built that thing.
And that fits into
I made this thing.
I made this thing, right? Like that's the part, like you've taken the bag and you've opened it up, and then you've pulled that piece out according to what that instruction, and you put it where it is. There's something creative that's with that, right?
Yeah.
And getting to do that with someone else, possibly, it could be even like a father-son thing.
And they've done a good job of actually creating sets now that are specifically designed to have people co-building. Like the instructions and the bags are separated so you can build at the same time and then combine. But I mean, you think of making a Lego kit.
Right.
What's the difference between doing that and, let's say, assembling a jigsaw puzzle?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
No.
You don't see jigsaw puzzle companies advertising, I made that and I created this. But somehow Lego has done that. I find that fascinating.
When you say
plastic model kits, a little bit different because there's a lot of uniqueness and individuality in how much you weather and paint and how you present in dioramas.
Absolutely.
But the core of it,
it's very similar.
Instructions, plastic pieces, glued them together.
It's all there.
Yeah.
Right. Like you kind of touched on that before in the sense that anyone can do this.
Yeah.
Like to do a model kit, like as a kid, to do, like the goal was always to do the photograph on the box, right? And like you're not realizing they're professional modelers, like they're all the stuff, and
they all the tools,
and you've got like an X-Acto knife and a little test.
At best,
right?
Yeah.
And with the Lego part, you can make it the same as the picture.
Yeah.
I think you described a story of talking to a guy. Can I make that?
Yeah.
You can make exactly that.
Yeah. It will look exactly like that thing.
And they don't have to go and make the picture look better than it actually is, because it is kind of amazing. They get great colors out of the pieces. And there's something still very powerful with that in us. And that's why I said I don't see any stop road outside of business, because like it's something that touches a heart. And I think there'll be more things like that as more and more people come out of that, what do I call it, job world, so to speak, right? Like, because you're like, if you're an assembly worker, a robot's going to replace you. Like whether you like it or not, it's just, it's going to be, if you're a service person, I mean, I know people gone recently to like Japan, and like the vending machines are unbelievable, apparently, right? You go to Starbucks for a coffee. Can you imagine that being a robot?
Well, there already is a few of those, right? So robotic baristas and stuff like that, and unattended restaurants, essentially, kiosks. There's no people.
And they're kind of an assembly activity, right? Like, I want my coffee with this in it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this amount. Well, they're always going to give it to you at that amount.
Yeah.
But there's not a person talking to you now.
No.
So now you got to go to the coffee shop with somebody.
And there is another side of this.
Yes.
I do get people contacting me on a regular basis saying, I have this big Lego set. Could you build it for me?
No way.
They want it just for display. They don't want the building experience.
There's a whole nother part.
So it's usually a Star Wars set. So they're a Star Wars fan, or they're a Van Gogh fan or something like that. And they just want it made for them. And they want to have it on their wall or on their mantelpiece. No interest in building, no interest in customizing it and making it their own and becoming sort of a Lego creator. They just want to have that Lego piece on their mantle.
You know what it makes me want to do? Go on a marketplace and say, you want your Lego kit built? Here it is.
You would get reply. You would absolutely have a little cottage business.
Way.
100%.
You're kidding me.
100%. Yeah. No, I get it. It's regular. It's a regular thing for me.
Really?
So yeah. So that is, again, I don't think 40 years ago that was not a thing.
Oh,
right.
Oh,
not a thing. No. You would not have somebody. You would have somebody say, I want you to. This again is a regular thing I get. Can you build my house, or can you build my cat, or something like that. That is definitely a thing, but that's a creative thing. But this is just a set off the box, build it like that, and then I want to have it on my shelf. So again, that's just a whole other side of that. But no joy of creation for them. It's all about just displaying that thing.
It's the thing.
And that's fine. I don't disparage that, but you get all types.
See, that's kind of like buying a guitar. For the non-player, I just love what it looks like, right? And I think there's probably a lot of things out there like that, right?
There might be.
That are kind of like, it's just beautiful. It's just a piece of art to me.
I mean, we do that in our homes. We stage, we nest, right? So we decorate, and maybe I don't play guitar. So I just want to have the idea. For some reason, I've got in my brain or my experience that having a guitar around says something and means something. So I just want to have the guitar. Do you play? No, I don't play. Yeah. So, I mean, I think this Lego has become part of that.
Absolutely. Like because that was when you were talking about putting them together. And what do you do when it's done?
Yes.
Like, yes, you can put it on your bookcase, but like, it's done. Like, you're not going to play with it really, right?
Probably not.
They're really good at collecting dust.
Yeah.
So they're really hard to dust.
Yeah. The Titanic set, it's 1.5 meters long. I mean, it's huge. There's a new Star Wars Death Star that came out. A new
one?
Yeah. We call it the Death Slice because it's like a ring, a chunk out of the middle of the Death Star. But
so you can see the.
But it's this tall, and it's about this thick. So it's kind of designed to be standing on something, and you look at it. It's like a wall display. I don't think it can be suspended. Somebody will come up with a way to do that. But at this point, just some sort of little table like this, and have it there. So it's a play set, maybe, but it's really 100% of them being bought by people to display. They build it and they display it. It's $1,000 US. Oh, that's the most expensive Lego set ever.
I'll be looking
$1,350, I think. $1,350 Canadian.
I'll be looking this up because because this is my it's like, oh yeah, I want that, I want that, and then it's like you think about it for very long and you're going, okay, so it's going to be kind of fun to build for sure. I'll love building it. What then?
Yeah, I mean, every creation I make, the temporary ones, the big sleigh, and things like that.
Yeah.
Every time the client, the venue, whoever the sponsor says, "Oh, we got to keep this. What can we get you to transport?" I'm going, okay. I know you think you want it, but in 6 months, you're going to have this build and you're going to go, what are we going to do with this thing? Can't really use it again because we already used it in this campaign or this thing. Where are we going to put this? And I could tell you stories about a few that have kept them and they just end up disappearing. They get stuck in a warehouse or somebody takes them home or they accidentally fall off and shatter. And so they just get thrown out. That's what happens to them. So, for these big models, That's why you get these people with these crazy Lego basements, because they give in. They say, okay, I guess I'm going to have a Lego room or a basement.
Yeah.
And now you've got these great displays. Or in the case of cities, they make a city, put a train in it, put some roads in it, put your buildings in it, and that's your display of all your sets. So
That's crazy.
they're huge, though. I mean, that's the difference.
Death Star, the slice.
Yeah, the Death Slice, we affectionately call it.
Crazy. How many pieces is that?
I don't remember.
Over 5,000.
Oh, well over. Yeah, no, it's not over 10, but it's in the high thousands.
So you tacked onto something really interesting. Why is Lego kind of caught that, but puzzles haven't?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things that you assemble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But they don't tout the creativity. But Lego's marketing has done a fantastic job of essentially making this.
And you can put that Lego on a shelf.
Yeah.
What do you do with a puzzle? Like laminate it?
People do that, but not many. Not very much. No.
You're on that kind
of.
That's a special thing.
Yeah.
But it's
essentially the same idea.
Oh, it is. It's for sure the same idea.
It's even tougher because you have to figure out where the pieces go. With a jigsaw. But they don't tout the creativity of a jigsaw puzzle. But it's effectively the same thing. I find that fascinating.
Well, I mean, in a way, like a jigsaw puzzle, like it's not you're not creating the picture. Like if it's of a painting, you're not creating a painting. But there's that whole sense of how you go about putting a puzzle together, right? That is kind of creative, like in a way, right?
And there's different ways to do it.
Oh,
for
my
sure.
Goodness,
my goodness, yeah.
You're doing what?
My sister-in-law is a puzzle technician, and her whole system is a marvel to watch. I just look for corners and edges, and then I get bored.
Well, I used to say that about writing a book. It's like you put your puzzle together where you do the border on the outside, right, and then you start to put together. But I said in writing a book, is that inside part you're looking at a picture to put it together? It changes,
right?
And it's like, oh my goodness! And sometimes it actually goes out to the border, and then it's like, where did I go?
Or you have to bulge it out a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a lot of very different things. So. Kind of going like, oh my goodness, man, there's like where to go? Because part of this conversation is memory that comes back because Lego's been with us for so long to me. And I think that's that's something very special about that. Call it a toy, like that it's gone in so many different directions. So
it's almost seems weird to just call it a toy.
That's why I said like
that's so bizarre.
I kind of feel like I'm like
so much more than that.
Would I be condescending to it?
Yeah.
And it's like, but at the same time, like it's a play thing. There many people kind of go like, oh, to play is kind of a fun thing to do, right? We do so little play in our world. But then you come out with this really fancy, exotic car, right? And it's like, and many pieces. And then you go, like, you can kind of go through, and after this conversation, my phone's going to be full of it, of all the different creations. Because there's like full-size cars that people put together that they drive.
Yes, there has been. Like I mentioned, the Formula One. Yeah. They had 10 of them. 10 full-size Lego Formula One cars driving around a track. Guys, the drivers were smashing them up with each other. I was cringing watching that. But
is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Look up Lego Formula One. I don't remember what race it was. But it was, they're driving around in Lego Formula One cars.
Because it's so connected to me with the whole Formula One concept because of the tech, right? It's so high tech.
Yeah.
And part of the thing, what brings people to Formula One is that tech part of it. Like
100%.
It's like you're talking about space vehicles. Like there's just, it's so far out there. Like they're doing the latest and greatest with composites and materials and everything, right?
Yeah.
And of course you can go on the other side with the driver, political world and all that kind of stuff.
It's like all these professional sports. It's so deep. So deep what's going on behind the scenes there. It's not just a bunch of guys racing cars around a track.
Well, it's funny when you
so much.
Oh, it is. It's funny when you say that because I think of Lewis Hamilton, right?
Yes.
And for a few years, like he thought, it looked like he was just going to do it. Yeah. And he's still the winningest driver by far in history. And I always think of him and seeing him in an interview. I think it was on Letterman, like when he was on the Netflix Letterman show. Okay. And he says, I don't actually really like to drive.
I didn't see that.
And he, like a normal car in a highway.
Oh, I got it.
That's
Okay.
what he was kind of
Right,
like saying.
right.
And he so epitomizes a non-driver. Like he's so into the fashion
Yes.
art world, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of likened him to our Gretzky.
Um,
Because Gretzky is so not like a hockey player.
Right.
It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
like, you did what?
Yeah.
Because his records are maybe even above Hamilton's, right? Hamilton's still active.
yeah.
But Gretzky's still got like 61 records in the
Yeah.
NHL. Like they're celebrating,
But
what's his name? The Washington guy who just got a scoring record.
Is that Ovechkin?
Yeah, Ovechkin.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're kind of going, but Gretzky's points like are
Yeah.
triple that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's stunning to see that. And I think of Lewis Hamilton in the world of Formula One, and you're kind of, he's your winningest driver?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he doesn't wear clothes that like are look like clothes.
Yeah, he's not a motorhead. He's not
It's so
a
weird.
car guy.
And I learned some of that on this interview with Letterman because like of how he was on the top at that time and could do anything, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like, and now like comes into the Lego discussion, right? Like it's like, oh my goodness, right? How many different things that they can do. So it's I'm intrigued by that a lot to see where it's kind of going. So where is Robin going? Like now this is going to come out before Christmas.
Yep.
So got a lot of things. What would people be looking for Christmas that you would think would be really cool?
You know, for me, this Christmas, I'm taking a fair amount of time off. So, I mean, I've done most of my Christmas things, a couple of big builds,
right.
A whole bunch of custom sets, some Christmas ornaments and stuff. We looked at one little train.
Yes, yeah.
I'm also working on a big, another big set, a big custom set, a couple of them actually, have 1,100 pieces instead of 24 in that one. So I'm working on that behind the scenes. People don't see that.
Right.
It's going to a particular customer and 300 being given out.
Are those exclusive? Like,
yeah,
so that
very exclusive. Yeah.
Do you post anything of this on your website?
I might,
right.
But it's really up to the client.
It's not available like for sale.
It's not available for sale.
Oh,
they're all being given away. Yeah.
That's such a cool idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do a lot of those and I love doing them because that's where I get to be creative and iterative.
So
I can hone a set and come up with different ideas and perfect it. Basically, I'm doing the same thing as the Lego company guys do in-house to make a Lego set. And then I got to do the building. I have to do the whole thing again. The instructions, the packaging, the graphics. I have to do all of that, or at least supervise it. And I love that. I love to be able to do that whole thing. So that's going to take a bunch of my spring. I'm also doing builds and interactive events. I'm going to Ottawa in January to do a mosaic build for a conference.
At the Museum of Civilization?
No, it's actually not. It's actually downtown. Again, private convention. So it's just they want to be able to work together on a piece. So so I'm working on that. And it'll just be more of these sorts of big builds. I'm doing a couple big builds on the island. I have a couple things always cooking in the background that we'll see what happens. But I don't have anything that's massively crazy innovative coming out in the next few months. It's just more of the same, but always new because, again, I get bored. Yeah, so I want to always have a different build and different things that I'm doing.
So I, as a person, a company could come to you and say, we build injection molding machines, as an example, right? I'm going to a previous employer. And we would like to give our clients an injection molding machine out of Lego. You would take that on. Yeah. Do you advertise that, or is that just something that's...
I sort of advertise it on my site, but I don't really advertise at all. I turn away twice as much business as I take. I don't need to advertise, so I can pick and choose. But I did like this year for Christmas as well, a little model of a new science vessel for the Coast Guard. And so I made this little tiny kit, and it's being handed out to 1,000 crew members and Coast Guard people in the East Coast.
Oh, that's cool.
So again, it's just a little Christmassy thing just for them. And the minute that happened, I've got like 10 emails I have to answer today, in fact, from all these other departments, and all these other people have seen it. Oh, man. And so they want the same thing, but they also, can you do this? Can you do this? And of course I can. So that's I can see a real possibility there. Like I'm even thinking like,
I would like you to make a box of chocolates for me out of
Right.
Lego. Right?
Yeah.
Like how many different things everything can be made out of Lego. Right?
Exactly. So I get a lot of one-off requests.
I'll bet,
so
I'll bet.
my boyfriend's into this, or
right.
Yeah, my girlfriend just bought this Daytona Charger car. Can you make a model of it? Well, yes, but to make one model and make all the stuff, you can't afford it. So essentially,
get another Charger.
I talk them out of it.
That's cool.
Essentially, but yeah, I have done that on occasion.
Okay.
When people have super deep pockets, because I have to spend just as much time with the design for one kit as I do for 1,000.
I'm not anticipating this is something that is for everyone. I'm just thinking like if you're into building bikes or your company builds whatever it could be. There's so many things,
and that happens all the time. So I mean, there's
what a unique gift though to give customers.
MRI machines have been done. I mean, all this sort of stuff, like boring boxes essentially, but exciting because now it's a Lego set. I've done some of those, and others have done those. So
we'll put it on the thing. You're at your website is at
brickville.ca. BRICKVILLE.ca is the website.
Because we'll put that on the description for the episode and stuff. So the other thing was any things that you think are kind of neat Lego things that would make great Christmas gifts for somebody that you've seen, like that were just like, that's a cool one.
There's so much.
I know.
I mean, whatever your interest is, there's Lego sets. There's the botanicals for your mums and aunts.
That was a big one.
Yes. Your mums and aunts
with Lego on.
Ideally, I would. They're the better ones,
for sure.
And then for your vehicle loving people, you've got the Formula One, you've got the big Ferraris, you've got all these supercars that they've got. I mean, if you're into gaming, you've got Zelda set, you've got a Dungeons and Dragons set, you've got Mario. I mean, there's all that side of it. So whatever you're into, there's Lego sets, and it could be again for more display. You got the Picasso or the Van Gogh or the
I gotta check these out. These are so cool.
And that could be something there, or you can be total play sets where it's just really actively playing. There's little soapbox sets where you're racing those soapbox cars down ramps. So it's extremely interactive and active once it's built. So it's designed, essentially builds your Hot Wheels set. And now you play with it. Now you race the cars, right? So,
So when somebody comes to you and asks you that question, do you direct them anywhere? Like,
I sometimes will ask a bunch of questions and make a suggestion based on that. What are you into? Are you into spaceships, Star Wars, fire trucks? Dolls? I mean, what are you into? And try not to make assumptions. And then, just direct them. And a lot of people have the same question you had earlier, which is, when I was younger, Lego wasn't so specific. It wasn't just all about building one thing and putting it on the shelf.
Right.
Well, it isn't now either. I mean, the people that are creative, like myself and others that do a lot of creative building, we look at those sets and we don't see a Star Wars ship anymore. We see that really cool piece that they used there.
Yes.
And I'm going to use that to be a decoration on the front of my building. Or it's going to be whatever else or something like that. So we look at the colors and get excited about what the building possibilities are. The average person just sees it as one pigeonholed set. But then you always have Lego Classic and Lego Creator.
Well, that's what you said at the beginning today. So
if you really want to go old school, that's what you do. You buy one of those, buy those sets. Or what I often suggest is get some Lego Classic sets with a theme that you're interested in. So with a Batman set or a Ninjago set or Super Mario with some Creator and Classic. Okay. And now you can embellish. You can add and expand and whatnot. And that's often a suggestion I have is get something supposedly single build. It's not, but supposedly. Yes. And then something that's open-ended to give you just more brick.
That's a cool idea.
More brick to add to it. So, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of grandson and granddaughters and thinking of like, this is where Papa started. And then, and this is where we are today.
Yeah. So if they're into a particular thing, get that, but then get the raw Lego as well.
That's cool.
Because the gateway is always, and there's certain ages where kids kind of do this as well. And I think we had this conversation before where at certain points they'll get really big into the role play. It's all about the minifigures. Yeah. And they're making them do things. And then it's like, whoa, what if my minifigure had a bad guy car? with the good guy car. And then they need a place to have their garage, and then and then it just expands. And so then they start customizing. But usually it comes out of the role play, and then it just becomes a little tweaking. What can I add to this thing? I want to have a tall tower on my fire station now because there's a laser on top. That's, whatever it is. And that's where it starts. But then eventually you get to the point where the kids are coming up with an idea and starting a build with their bricks. So I don't think your kids they're not there yet. They're still at the extension of the role playing.
Yep.
And so you just got to give them some ammo to fire their ideas with, with classic brick. No, so
that's very cool.
Yeah.
So had a great conversation today. This is perfect. So
this is so much fun.
What before we go, any final things that we haven't talked about that you would like to kind of wrap up with today? Like anything that comes to mind that I know I always put people on the spot.
We've touched on a lot of it. I mean, I'm hopeful about the future of Lego, but also play. There's a bit of doom and gloom out there, I think, on that. And we still know how to play. We still know how to interact. And I'm excited to see what happens with that, and the sense of community and socially building or showing things and being creative with each other. I just hope that increases, and I think its chance of increasing is high because of the dearth of all the media that comes at us and all the AI. We crave that one-on-one or one-on-10 or 10-on-1 kind of interactions with art, and it could be anything. It could be karaoke, it could be sculpting, it could be all of these things. I think are resurging because we crave that, and I'm hopeful that continues. I know there will be Lego sets for as long as I want there to be Lego sets, and I encourage people to always encourage people to be creative in whatever scope that means.
Yeah.
So that might be building a Lego set. It might be tweaking it. Even something as simple as people trying to make a mirror image of it, or use other bricks to change the color scheme a little bit, so take the blue ones and make them red instead, or whatever. There's ways to be safely creative.
Right. Without destroying what you've got.
Without having to have a blank canvas, which is terrifying, or a blank table and just a pile of bricks. So take something and modify it. And
that's cool.
Yeah, anyway, I'm hopeful. And I encourage people to connect with their creativity, connect with other creative people.
Oh, yeah.
And just enjoy. Do what brings you joy.
Oh, no.
Do what brings you joy.
Well,
and there's so much in this environment which brings joy to people, and certainly to me.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head with bringing joy, because that's one of the things that I think Lego, whether it was intended ever to do this or not, does. It allows you to build something with your own hands.
Yeah.
And you don't have to necessarily have it all cerebrally in your head to figure it out. It's kind of a neat gift.
Sometimes it's innovation. Sometimes it's nostalgia. It's storytelling.
Yeah.
It's story making, and just do it.
But you get to do it. Like you
just do it.
You get to touch
it's your hands, personal experience.
How important that thing is. Just do it.
Yeah.
Well, Robin, I can't thank you enough for being here. I mean, it's been another one. I hope
a pleasure.
You come back again in 2026.
Let's do it.
Because you said of how much has changed just since the last time we talked.
It's incredible.
It is quite amazing. Well, I was going to say, we're going to wrap up. We're going to land this thing today. Thank you for joining Better Than Not in this episode. I hope you've enjoyed some of the things that Robin has talked about. Like Lego is a crazy, crazy, I'll say gift, but as far as a present, but it's also a gift to us and allowing us to do things with our hands, which I think outside of holding our phones these days, it doesn't happen a lot. Yeah. And with that, I hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel, Better Than Not, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Are we on? Good. Welcome to the Better Than Not podcast. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But when we at least do something, we know it's almost always better than not.